You are not too much because you want attention. You are too much because you are terrified of remaining invisible. You spent your childhood performing for an audience that never looked up. You became a master of the silent room. You learned to anticipate needs before they were even spoken, turning yourself into a human shield for everyone else's emotions. Now, as an adult, you are not necessarily broken. You are not even depressed. You simply feel a quiet, persistent hum of not enough. You have a career, a home, and a life that looks complete on paper, yet you feel like a spectator in your own story. You are waiting for a permission slip to exist that never arrives. You apologize for taking up space. You feel a crushing weight of guilt the moment you stop being useful. You have tried to fix this restlessness with productivity and forced affirmations. It failed because you were treating the exhaustion of the body, not the starvation of the soul. Today, we stop looking for validation in a house that was built to ignore you. By the end of this, you will understand that your hypervigilance was never a personality trait. It was a survival strategy that you no longer need to carry. You have spent years telling yourself a story that you are difficult or needy. You believe your sensitivity is a defect. You think your constant need to check if everyone is okay is a sign of weakness. Stop. That story is a lie designed by a system that could not see you. You are not a broken person. You are a high-precision instrument that was calibrated in an emotional vacuum. Whether your childhood home was loud and demanding or silent and pedantic, the result was the same. Your internal world was never the priority. You became a sophisticated radar system. In a house where you were ignored or sidelined, you had to develop elite-level emotional intelligence just to survive. You did not become anxious. You became hyper-aware. You did not become people-pleasing. You became a master of social dynamics. Your internal engine is world-class. The problem is that you are still running on the emergency power settings of a child who had to stay quiet or perfect to stay safe. You are an elite athlete still wearing the heavy armor of a battlefield you left years ago. The weight you feel is not your identity. It is just the equipment you used to get here. Now it is time to see the mechanism behind the mask. Why does a grown adult still feel the phantom weight of a childhood silence? The answer lies in your internal safety architecture. When a child is ignored, the brain does not simply get used to it. It treats emotional neglect as a biological threat. First, your system enters a state of chronic hypervigilance. Because your needs were not met automatically, your brain developed a high alert scanning mode. You became a professional at reading microexpressions, tone shifts, and the heavy energy of a room. Second, your internal reward signals were hijacked. In a healthy environment, you feel good when you achieve something for yourself. In an ignored environment, you only feel a surge of safety when you are being useful to others. Your brain gradually reshapes itself to be dependent on the approval of people who are not even looking at you. Third, the consequence is a muted self. To avoid the pain of being ignored, you learn to turn down the volume on your own desires until you could no longer hear them. You are not empty. You are just operating behind a firewall that was built to protect you from the cold. But that same firewall is now blocking the warmth you are trying to let in. This is not a character flaw. It is a biological adaptation to an environment that lacked emotional oxygen. And to change it, we have to look back at where this drive began. For 99% of human history, a child who was not emotionally seen faced a deeper danger than hunger or cold. Human survival depended on connection, being held, being noticed, being part of a small circle of eyes that said, "You belong here." When you were ignored, your young brain did not have a name for the pain. It only felt the ache of emptiness, a kind of silent loneliness that pressed against your ribs. You did not understand it. You just knew it hurt, so your system adapted. It tightened, it watched, it worked for any sign of warmth. In the wild, this sensitivity kept the tribe alive. Today, it shows up as guilt for having needs, or the reflex to shrink yourself to keep the peace. But here is the truth your nervous system never learned. You are no longer a child trapped in a room that could not see you. You are an adult with choices, mobility, and agency. You are allowed to leave spaces that dim your light. You are free to seek people who meet you with presence, not silence. Your biology was built for survival. Now it is time to use it for something greater than survival. It is time to calibrate it for a life you choose. You are not looking for more discipline. You are looking for the keys to your own life. When you implement these 5 shifts, the quiet ache of not enough begins to dissolve, replaced by a solid, unshakable sense of belonging to yourself. 1. The gift of presence. The first 60 minutes of your day are yours alone. No outside voices, no digital agendas. By claiming this hour, you teach your nervous system that you are the primary event in your own life. You move from reacting to the world to leading it. 2. The end of inner silence. 3 times a day, stop and ask, what does my body need right now? A glass of water, a stretch, a moment of quiet. Every time you answer this small call, you repair the connection to your soul and silence the old ghost of neglect. 3. The power of choice. You gain the ultimate adult freedom, the power of exit. If a space feels like an emotional vacuum, you no longer have to exhaust yourself filling it. You can simply walk away. You are trading the fatigue of fixing for the peace of choosing who deserves your energy. 4. The right to exist. Practice taking up physical and vocal space without the reflex to apologize. Speak at your natural volume. Sit with your shoulders back. As you refuse to shrink, the old survival anxiety fades, replaced by the calm confidence of a person who knows they belong in the room. 5. From utility to identity. You stop being a tool to be used and start being a human to be known. You shift from asking, how can I be helpful, to how can I be present? This is where the loneliness ends, not by doing more for others, but by finally showing up for yourself. You are building a world where you are the main character, not the supporting cast, and that transformation leads to one final, inevitable truth. The quiet, tired version of you was never the truth. It was just a costume you wore to survive a winter that has long since passed. Stop waiting for a permission slip to exist from the people who could not see you. Their blindness was never a reflection of your light. It was a limitation of their own vision. You are no longer the child in the hallway, hoping for a glance. You are the architect of your own rooms. When you shed the armor of being useful, you finally become available for being loved. You stop being a lone wolf and start finding your true tribe. People who meet you with presence, who see your value without you having to earn it, who support you as an equal. You move from the exhaustion of people pleasing to the power of genuine contribution. You do not act to be liked. You act because you have the strength to shape your world. The hollow ache in your chest fills with the solid weight of your own agency. You are seen, you are valued, you are connected. Shed the weight, ignite your inner light, step out of the shadows and into the sun. And finally, become the masterpiece you were always designed to be.